KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack.
And welcome
Good morning.
to a great Saturday morning.
You know that opening still cracks me up.
It does.
I
Every
want that
time
guy
you...
to follow us around everywhere I go, and here's Rob.
And Joe is in the house.
Joe is cooking dinner.
Joe is going to work this morning.
That's the trouble with life. We just don't have a soundtrack to go along with it. Well,
Exactly right. You know, the interesting thing we're doing today, we're actually doing an open mic Saturday, which really means is that we have a variety of subject matters to really go over. And we also want to take phone calls from anyone about anything about real estate. So give us a call, 800-808-5548. Have a lot of great experts in the house. We also have one of our great guests and a great builder in the house right now, don't we?
yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have what they often call Dr. Horton. Actually, it's Dr. Horton. And we have Karen Nickell, and it is Dustin Dye. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. We're happy to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank the Academy. Never mind.
You love me. You really, really love me.
Yeah.
We do.
So anyway, well, you were, before the show started, you were talking about that you have I believe it's Jacob's Reserve, Dustin, where you're working, and it has just taken on phenomenal. Let's talk a little bit about where you are and what you're doing, and then we're going to start getting some specifics.
Well, great. Well, thank you for having us. You know, Jacob's Reserve is located right outside of the Woodlands, and we're zoned to schools in the Woodlands. But I'm representing the Emerald brand, which we brought back this year as a luxury brand, and we're seeing great success with the brand. Everyone's very excited that we're back. We are the #1 community for D.R. Horton and Emerald in the whole United States.
Yes, it's quite exciting. Enough bling bling to go around.
Well, you were talking about this. What's the price point in Jacob's Reserve?
Jacob's Reserve has something for everybody, so we go all the way from the 200s to the millions, and I'm representing the price point from the 400s to the millions. We opened in January.
And this is all done under the Emerald brand, is what you're saying right now.
Yes, and the Emerald, again, is a luxury brand of the D.R. Horton family.
Yeah, and you know, back in the day, Emerald was here, and what was so delighting is when D.R. Horton came into Houston, they acquired Emerald. So back in the day, they would do things, the double pane windows. Me and Rob were talking about it, but it was a wonderful tribute for us to go back into tradition and bring this excellence back. And Dustin has just had successful turnaround. And
We'll talk about that success a little bit. Maybe Dustin want to talk about it, but said you've been there since January. And of course,
Yes, I've been.
Karen had a count on her hand how many months that was.
And get her calculator out. Since January, I've sold 25 million in homes.
Wow.
So,
and how many units does that represent?
25 homes. 33 homes.
33 homes.
see, you needed me to
Yeah.
do the calculator again.
You know that algebra.
Yes, I do have trouble with that algebra. It's just not what it is.
Algebra.
And so, what do you
Give
think?
me a hand, bro.
It's hard to get these questions out sometimes. You know, at my age, I don't want to forget.
We are professionals here.
Yes,
Don't try
don't
this
try
at
this
home.
home.
tell.
Exactly. What is it that's driving that? That's
You know, there's
phenomenal.
so many companies relocating to the Woodlands area and Houston all around. You know, this last year, the market has just exploded. Rates are still amazing. There's so much growth. But the Woodlands definitely, you know, the talk of the Woodlands is the Exxon campus relocating to the Woodlands. We are seeing a lot of those families, and that price point has just, you're seeing that price point really jump.
I never heard about that, really. They're relocating to the Woodlands?
Yeah, there's a few buildings. There's a few buildings being
Are they
built.
really putting a couple buildings up there?
Oh, just about 20.
Yeah, and that move is supposed to be complete. Like I think at the end of 2014. I think ultimately is when.
Yes, we'll
when
start
most
seeing a
them-
lot of the families from Virginia relocate after February 2014.
Exactly.
You know, and the beautiful thing is it not just only in the Woodlands, but the success in the overall Houston marketplace has been so dynamic. I mean, truly, you know, with Metro Study and all that fun stuff out there, we could not be in the most perfect place in the country.
It is
in
a
Houston,
perfect storm
Texas.
right now.
Life
Absolutely.
is good.
You know, we talk about that all the time, you know, speaking on the national level. You know, a lot of times we unfortunately don't realize how good we have it here until you actually travel to other places within the United States. You know, and then obviously you've got worldwide issues going on, but the Houston market is truly an anomaly. It's been an anomaly that we've had for a long time.
It has.
We see all these national numbers, and the real estate market is definitely improving on a national scale. But you actually take it down to a micro level of what Houston is. There is not another city in the nation that is experiencing what we have in regards to inventories, in regards to new home builds. And curiously enough, we're not even at the height of our building. I mean, if you look at it where Houston was in 2007, right, with 50,000 new starts.
Right.
This year we're a little less than 30,000 new starts, and we're still booming. So if you take those numbers in consideration, it's absolutely amazing. Technically speaking, we're building less, but we're doing a lot better.
Right.
And so it's actually a true phenomenon that we're experiencing and living through right now.
I know. It's a great thing.
Well, something that I find fascinating. If you look out there, we were talking about before the show, staying up on financial stuff, my world in the credit arena. Bankrate.com had an article here recently where they talked about the markets that were increasing in value at the highest rate. And what's amazing to me is it's all the same markets that absolutely crashed and collapsed, just
You're right.
5-6 years ago. The thing that's always been really neat to me about Houston is that even in this kind of market where it's just going gangbusters, and we're seeing higher percentages of gain than we have probably ever in Houston, it's still not crazy. We're not seeing 40% increase in prices, around town. So we're a much more stable market overall. When the market cools off, which eventually all things have to come down,
Cyclical.
we'll still not have such an inflated price in home values that people who are buying now are going to have a loss in their investment.
But I will tell you this, with the labor and, it's one of those materials and all that fun stuff, the home prices have been increasing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fabulous. So I tell you, it couldn't be a better time for clients to get into the market right now. I love Donald Trump. His saying was the best time to buy real estate was yesterday. The next best is today.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
Let's talk about that. I remember going back a few years. Builders were sitting on a lot of inventory. You're seeing a lot of bonuses to get and incentives to get in. I don't think that's happening very much anymore. When someone comes into a D.R. Horton subdivision or an Emerald subdivision, is there inventory on the ground that they can buy today, or is it in various stages?
Being the nation's largest builder and number one builder in America by
Got
volume.
that plug in there, didn't you?
Yes, of course, always. Always
11 years
got to drop
11
that.
years in a row.
Yes, but we always are going to carry inventory because we know that buyers relocating are going to need their home immediately. So we have the dollar volume to carry that inventory, but, we're selling the homes at full price.
Right. Yes, and thank you so much for asking, because we do have some spectacular summer
Our
sizzling
job can make you look
sales.
good.
Yes, available at any local
That's
D.R.
the
Horton
sign I
community.
see sometimes, huh? A sizzling summer by D.R. Horton.
No haggle pricing at its best.
So, Karen,
yes.
talk about how many subdivisions you all are building in.
Well, overall in the greater Houston area, we've got about 50 communities.
That's amazing.
It is. And we have so much more coming on. Not only are we the number one builder over the last 11 years, but presently now, D.R. Horton is the number one developer in town with all the land positions that we have bought. So that's very exciting. We have a new community, Glenlock Farms, that will be opening here in the next couple weeks. We also have a beautiful tract of land on Gosling, not up near the Woodlands area, that will be opening, but we've got land all over, so it is exciting. We are going to be here for many years to come.
And and one of the things that's very important for all of our listeners to know, the land position that you're taking is extremely important, because one of the things that went on, obviously we talked about during the downturn a little bit, was that developers stopped developing. They stopped putting lots on the land.
Yes.
D.R. Horton started acquiring land. And so right now we're seeing a big comeback. One of the big things that builders are going for is there's not enough lots to purchase.
That is
That's where
correct.
D.R. Horton really has an advantage.
Right, and that just goes to focus on Mr. Horton himself, putting himself in a position for success. So it's just wonderful to ride this train.
Yeah,
isn't
in
it,
this
Dustin?
last year, we've purchased $500 million in land in the Houston area.
That's
Wow.
phenomenal.
Ka-ching.
The best strategy is to zig when everybody else is zagging.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if people are trying to get rid of stuff, be buying it, because you're buying it for a lot cheaper dollars than you can do a couple of years later.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to toss in that MSN, I just looked it up on MSN Money, had the top 5 best bang for the buck cities to live in. Houston was in the top 5.
Yay!
So even still, like I said, even with the market being as hot as it is, prices as you talked about increasing, we're really definitely seeing probably a bigger increase around town than we have in 20, 30 years. It's still top 5 best values to live in.
Oh, yeah, no, I would absolutely agree. And Dustin, let me ask you a question. What does the profile of your typical buyer look like right now up in that area? I mean, what are you seeing, and what are some of the items that they're requesting the most in some of the D.R. Horton homes?
The Emerald is really focused on current modern trends that we're seeing. So we've spent the last 2 years designing all these plans, so it's definitely for the modern family. Large, huge open kitchens and family spaces. Lots of great details with the outdoor areas, family profiles. It's definitely a lot of families. People moving from all over the country coming to the Woodlands area.
And we talked about this a lot. I think people aren't buying houses so much as they're buying lifestyles. Do you see that when they're out there buying?
Oh, it's definitely a lifestyle purchase. Definitely, it's all about schools and location.
So I know that y'all are a phenomenal company, but there's a couple other companies out there trying to build and compete with you.
Yes.
When people are riding around, tell them why they need to go to D.R. Horton.
Because we have the best product, and I'll showcase it to you to death.
Right.
So what is your distinctive, best practices and things like that say, this is why you need to come see us?
With our national buying power that we have, being the largest builder in the United States, there's so many products that we bring into the homes. Like in the Emerald product, it's very, very luxurious. So I have home automation included in my homes through a company called Savant, which is Apple-based. So my homes come with an iPad mini. You can control your lights, your thermostats, your security systems. That's all standard. The brain to that system is a Mac Mini server in your wall. Okay. So very, very unique stuff that nobody else is giving in the homes. And that's what people are seeing that value, and so they're buying it.
So I could be on vacation in Hawaii, and I can turn my lights on and off.
I see you have an Apple phone right there. You could download the app, and you could control your house.
It's a Droid. You
have
an Apple Droid?
They may have that app coming out soon as well.
So I can't buy a house until I either get an Apple product or
we're going to give you the iPad Mini, so you'll be okay.
That's fair.
I'm starting to hyperventilate. How do I turn on the TV with a remote or?
And one of the things I would encourage everyone who's out there, one of the things that I do a lot during the week, I am out visiting model homes all the time. Right. 1, for marketing. 2, because I like to see all the new trends. And let me tell you, I'm always impressed when I walk into a D.R. Horton community and I walk into your model homes. Not only the individuals that work for D.R. Horton, which are first class, we talked about several of them that I know right there, but also you walk in and your model homes are absolutely not only astounding to look at because of the design, et cetera, but just the layout and the architecture of the homes that you're building nowadays. I mean, one of the things that's always impressed me about D.R. Horton is the way y'all always modernize with the trends, with what's going on, with the family orientation, with the technology you mentioned, Dustin, right there. It's really neat, and so I encourage everybody to go out there, even if you're not buying a home, go out there and look at D.R. Horton, because let me tell you, you get some great ideas, and it's a great company and great individuals that will walk you through a lot of things.
How has something we hear almost every week on the show, at least when we have realtors, is
which is every week.
Yeah, which is pretty much every week. Is the shortage in the housing market, the actual number of homes on the ground. How has D.R. Horton been affected by that? How have y'all adjusted, et cetera?
Well, one of the great things about D.R. Horton is we are a showcase inventory builder. So that has always been our philosophy. A lot of builders will build to suit. However, we have always implemented having inventory readily available. So at any given community that you would go to see D.R. Horton home, and again, drhorton.com, we have a variety of inventory showcase always available. That's been truly one of our major success points. Wouldn't you agree, Dustin?
Yes, I agree.
How about, in of course, Dustin, in your area where you're dealing with some of those $600,000 homes, how about if I want to modify that plan? What?
Being a luxury brand, we will look at custom options. So it's going to be case by case. But yes, we want to sell homes. We want to. The great thing is, though, that the product, we always have an option for somebody.
Okay. So if I guess outdoor kitchens are huge, and that's probably put in a lot. That's easy to integrate in there.
Outdoor kitchens, outdoor fireplaces, lots of entertaining spaces.
But if people want to personalize, that's the one great thing. We'll listen to their needs, wants, and desires, and you know what? We'll build their dream home for them, one home at a time.
No, I can absolutely imagine. One of the things, again, we have D.R. Horton in the house. In the house. Time flies when you're having fun. We are coming up against a break right now. But we're going to come back with D.R. Horton with some other of our guests that we have here, and we have our lightning round at the very end. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Completely black.
Was that a fact?
I hugged her and she hugged back like flag. The sailor said, quote, ain't that a